guys, I just realized how intense my makeup looks. Pretty much it's Christmas today, which is why I did this makeup, but it looks way more intense on camera for some reason. To all those who celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, and to those who don't, I hope you enjoyed your holiday anyway. But today, we are going to be talking about how I somehow got a 99.1 ATAR, and a lot of you have been asking me on my previous video how I did that, and I've gotten DMs and things like that about it, so it's probably just easier if I make a video to address all of you at once. Also, by the way, thank you so much for everyone who's being so nice and supportive on my video. Like, you guys are the best. Like, I didn't realize how much love and support I would get. You guys are just really nice, so thank you for that. So there are kind of a few things that I think probably led up to me getting that ATAR, or just like doing well in year 12 in general, but the absolute most important thing in the entire world when it comes to studying and getting good marks is consistency, which is the hardest one to keep up actually, but this is so important. I started studying like from the beginning of year 12, which a lot of people do because you have that kind of motivation at the start of year 12. You're like, I want to get a good ATAR, which is probably why you're watching this video, right? But you need to keep that up, which is the hard bit. What I did throughout the year was I would use my freeze super effectively. So in your study periods, don't just talk to other people. Like, I would separate myself from people I knew were gonna talk to me and distract me, and I would just sit down and work. So during my free periods, I would usually try to get done the homework I had gotten already that day, or just get a head start on my study for the afternoon. In the afternoon, I would try to aim for, at the very least 2 hours of study on the days that I would be studying. So I didn't study every day. That is way too much. I couldn't deal with that, and I would usually have one day a week where I would just do nothing, and I actually didn't allocate a day of the week to do that. I just kind of went with how I felt. So if I felt like one day I just couldn't study, I'd be like, okay, this is going to be my rest day for the week. On the days that I did study, like I said before, I studied for at least 2 hours. What I would do is I had this app on my laptop called Self-Control, and it blocks certain websites, so you can't access certain websites. So I'd block like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. If I like kind of wasn't feeling it, or I had like a really busy day and I came home late or something, I would usually do like 2 hours, but most days I would try to do like 3 to maybe 4.5 hours, which sounds like a lot. I know it sounds like a lot, but like, it's worth it. And also I had a lot of homework, so it was okay, and I would take breaks as well. Like, I wouldn't just like be studying the whole time. I would kind of go through it at my own pace and just like try to enjoy it, which sounds impossible, I know, but like you end up like kind of enjoying it, especially if you like listen to a good playlist and things like that. Okay, so the second thing I did was I planned out my study. So I set small goals, and pretty much before every exam period, I would set up a study schedule. So wait, it's actually still on my wall. I'll show you the one that I had for HSC. Okay, so this was my study plan for the HSC, and I had the same for like trials, half yearlies, just every exam period. What I did was sorry about my nails, I would write down things to do every day. I know that this like seems like a lot, but I would do this day, and then if I thought that later on in the week I'd want to have a free day, I would get a head start on Tuesday's work or Wednesday's work, so that later on I'd have less to do and I could maybe free up a day. Also, what I did was every day where I completed everything, at the end of the day I would color it in green, and this actually really helped. Like, I didn't think that it would help that much, but it was really motivating. Here I have a red day, so red day means that I just didn't finish everything, and like that's okay if you get a red day. Like I didn't really beat myself up over it because I knew that I'd have some. You can tell that in this period of time I was just like overwhelmed with everything. I was like, nah, I don't want to do work, so I just left it, and that was fine. Like after that, like I had mostly all greens, especially during the HSC period. Also, I usually didn't really do that much work on the day of the exam. Actually, before exams I did nothing. I just didn't think about the exam. I would go on YouTube, I'd like go on Instagram, I'd just like chill, like, because at that point I knew there was nothing more I could really do. And the day before I would cut down the amount of study I did quite a bit as well. I had my exams in blue or like pink or whatever, and I'd have good things, like exciting things, in yellow. Here there aren't that many, but before trials and stuff, like I had more. This also took like an hour or two to make each one. I don't know why it took so long, but I really thought about what I would be able to finish in a day and still like have time to relax and stuff. And oh, also a really important thing is I always stopped work after like 9 or 9:30. Like I never worked after that time. So I kept that in mind while writing these things down, and I thought, okay, on this day, when do I finish school? What frees do I have? That kind of thing. So I ended up finding my trial study timetable, and as you can see, it's much shorter than the HSC one. As you can see, it's more like condensed. I did so much like per day for trials, but keep in mind these 2 weeks were like holidays, so I had more time to do things there. But pretty much with these study plans, the earlier you start, the more spaced out your work can be, so you can relax more every day. This was pretty full on, and trials is pretty much like the most intense study period in year 12, but I still had like a couple like yellows, so fun things to do, and I still had some like days where I just couldn't finish the work, and that's okay. So yeah, there you go. I just realized that all of this might be a lot to kind of take in, so I might do kind of a summary in the description below. So yeah, that was the second point. Plan out your study and set small goals, because that really helped me. The next one, I kind of touched on it before, but make sure that you're healthy mentally and physically as well. I definitely try to keep physically healthy because then your brain will work at its maximum. Guys, I'm literally editing this while eating a bag of popcorn. My health has gone down so much since I finished year 12, but that's okay. Also, I just wanted to add, if your physical health isn't perfect all throughout, that's okay too. Like, it's really hard to maintain everything. Just try. Like, it's okay to spend time at the gym and like exercising, and also just try to eat well. I had a lot of problems with that, but it's just better overall. But if you can't, like, don't stress about that. That you don't need to stress about that as well. Just try your best to stay healthy. The most important thing is probably your mental health though during year 12. It's such a stressful and overwhelming time, and there's a lot of times where you feel like you just can't do it. I definitely had that. I only had it like once though, because I really took care of myself during the HSC. So if you really can't do work one day, just don't do it. It's okay. One day is not gonna hurt. And allow yourself to make mistakes. Like, it's not the end all be all. Wait, is that the saying? I don't even know. But if you get a bad mark, that's okay. I got a few bad marks in year 12, or I just felt really bad after quite a few exams actually. But like, it's fine. It's probably gonna happen. I mean, I messed up quite a few times and I still ended up with a 99.1 ATAR somehow. So it's okay. Like, it's not much to stress about. Just take your mistakes and learn from them, which is so cliche, but it's true. You should learn from your mistakes, figure out what happened, what you did wrong, and just work hard to fix it next time. Also, sometimes you need that push. Sometimes you need to get a bad result to motivate you to do well. In terms of motivation and actually doing work consistently, what I found was really effective was if I had an essay to write or something, I would just be like, okay, I'll write the first sentence of the introduction. That's all I have to write. And I would write it, and then if I didn't feel like continuing it, then I wouldn't have to. I'd take a break. Or if I did want to, then I would mostly just continue it. Also, I use this thing called the Pomodoro technique, which is so helpful. Like, it literally got me through the majority of my year 12 experience. And it's pretty much this thing where, like, you do work for 25 minutes, you take a break for 5 minutes, and you do it again up until I think 4 rounds, and then you take like a long break. So if there was a day that I just wasn't feeling like studying, I would just be like, okay, I'll just do one 25-minute session and then see how I feel. And usually, like, you can get through quite a few cycles of it. I had this app called Focus Keeper, literally got me through the HSC. Like, it was so helpful. Get that app and try it because it's really, really helpful. Also, I just realized it's probably really helpful if I tell you guys how I kind of did well or improved in English and maths. English, I hated English. I hated it so much. I was so bad at it. It felt impossible. At the start of year 12, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. And just the thought of writing like 3 essays in 2 hours or something was like mind-blowing. Like, I was like, that's not gonna happen. And reading tasks, like, I was terrified. But I was determined to do well in it because I was like, well, if I do nothing, then I won't get better. So I did this sucked, but I did practice reading tasks throughout the year. I think maybe towards trials I started doing reading tasks, but I honestly, like, biggest trek, like, doing practice English papers is the worst. Like, like, I hated it, but I just, like, I pushed through it, and I went from getting like a 10 out of 20 in my first reading task, because I just couldn't finish, right, to I think a 20 out of 20 in my trials. Like, trust me, hard work pays off. And I had so many times throughout the year where I thought that my hard work wasn't paying off, I wasn't improving, but like, I was. And it really, really helped to do practice reading tasks, like, trust me. And my teacher was a blessing. She worked so hard, and she would mark every single one for me and give me such good feedback, and I love her so much. Like, literally, like, bless. And hopefully your English teachers will be happy to mark your papers as well. If not, maybe try going to other English teachers or consider getting a tutor as well. And I also did practice essays, but not as much as reading tasks. But yeah, practice essays and things like that. For maths, from my experience, it's literally just practice. So that means that throughout year 7 to year 12, you should be consistency. You should be consistent with your maths. Pay attention in maths. If you decide to do maths, I think it's compulsory now, I don't know. But even in year 11 doesn't count towards your HSC, but the maths that you learn in year 11 is really, really important for year 12. So I was always really consistent with maths because, I don't know, I just kind of liked it, honestly. In year 11, definitely care about maths. And then in year 12, like, just practice papers. Like, practice papers are so important for maths. Not just, like, I never took notes for maths. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. If that helps you, then, like, do it. But I really don't think it would help that much. Like I just threw myself into practice papers. Or if a certain topic was too hard, I would start from the textbook questions and then I'd move on to the practice papers, because practice papers are the types of questions that you're gonna get in your exam. I often went to like papers from other schools as well, except do the ones from your school first, because those will be most similar to the ones that are going to be in your test. But I would get papers from Bruce, North Sydney, Balcombe Hills and stuff like that. Oh yeah, do your homework for maths. Like it's probably the most important subject to do homework for, because it's all just practice. Do your homework. Like I made sure I had my maths homework done every single time, except maybe once or twice, like when things were getting too much. Like do your homework. Like that's really, really important. I hope this helped a little bit. Try and remember to not be too hard on yourself and just kind of enjoy it as well. Like work hard, but also have time to enjoy it. So yeah, that's my advice. Thank you so much for watching, and I might see you later. See you.